to Pop Chat. My name is Annette Tarpley. I'm the founder of the Passion of Poetry. And tonight I'm very happy to have with us Crystal Beck, also known as, is it NAVAH BUDDAPHLIII? How do you pronounce it?
It's NAVAH the butterfly.
Is NAVAH the butterfly?
Yes.
Wow, I like that even better. That's great. NAVAH the butterfly. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of me reading a bio or something like that, I'm gonna give the stage to you. What I want you to do is to divulge whatever information you want about yourself, personal, your writing career, your performance career, whatever it is that you want us to know about you. So I'm gonna give the stage over to you, and you can do your thing.
Oh, okay. So, my name is Nava the butterfly, and I know a lot of you probably puzzled by the spelling, so I'll explain it. Um, when I was in third grade, I was a poor speller, and that's actually what got me into writing. I spell words like I pronounce them. So when the teacher said spell butterfly, I said Buddaphlii. And that's how I thought it should be spelled. And I just kept the name Butterfly throughout the years because of the spelling. I'm an abstract writer. I'm trying to become more of a concrete writer these days. And abstract writing is more like if you went to a museum and you see a bowl of fruit, it's painted beautifully, and you know it's a bowl of fruit. And you see a woman brushing her hair, and you know it's a woman brushing her hair. Then you come to this painting, it looks like someone took a paintbrush and just threw it at the canvas. So that's what I consider abstract writing, is when you take your pen and you throw it at your notebook. I'm also a mother of five. I'm 50. I'll be 51 this year. My youngest being 4, my oldest being 27. So the range is,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. So I love that story about the butterfly and how you got that name. So that is great. Love that. And love your description of your writing as well. That your abstract and your analogies are great when you discuss that as well. So so tell me what it is about writing and poetry. Do you write just poetry or do you do more than poetry?
So I've always wrote poetry and songs. This year, I've gotten into short stories.
Mm.
Um, I'm gonna do a collection of short stories. Writing for me, I think it was just natural. Um, because when I speak, a lot of times I would say poetic things, and people are like, "Ooh, that was beautiful what you said," or "That was," and that's when I realized, hey, I might have something here. And then I just started sitting down. It just became very therapeutic for me. It felt good to my spirit,
Yeah.
and I just kept at it. But I could share a little bit about the short stories if you like, just one of them.
Sure. Yeah. I too just started writing short stories about a year ago. I think 5 are published. I haven't submitted the other ones, but they're fun to do, aren't they? One of these days I want to do that as well, write a collection. But yeah, if you want to share one of those, do you want to share a poem or a short story first?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to briefly give a brief description of one of the short stories.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I don't. It's going to be a science fiction, but also very abstract, and an abstract concept. And this is not to offend anyone, or this is not factual information at all. It's just more of me just creating stories from my universe of imagination. So one of the stories is called um, "The Blood of Christ," and it starts off about um, the Ark Covenant, and it opened up, and a butterfly came out and landed on Jesus's hand when he was a child. and basically bit Jesus. And Jesus then, from that moment on, became a vampire. But vampires, not like we would know of them. And then he collected his disciples. So when you talk about the blood of Christ in my little make believe story, it's about Jesus being a vampire, but vampires not being bad things, and that vampires actually came from butterflies. Oh, I can't hear you.
Love that. And I mute myself sometimes so I don't have any background noise in case my dog barks or something, and then forget to unmute myself. So I love that. And I love that you took on Jesus because that's a big one to take on, you know?
Yes,
So, yeah. Yeah. There's probably some, crazy person out there that, oh, blasphemy or something like that.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And just do your thing anyway. So that's the nice thing about
Yes,
writing is regardless of what somebody thinks, we don't care. We can just write whatever.
yeah,
So I know that the first time I got introduced to you was when we were both doing a open mic together, and I heard you and I thought, wow. I think I had to follow you after that, and I thought, oh, I thought, oh no, no, I have to follow her. So, but you amazed me because you really are a true spoken word artist. And I think, do you live in Boston? Is it Boston you live in?
yes, yes. I live in Boston, and I loved your writing too. I was immediately drawn to you as well, and then we, had a little chat,
Yeah.
because I was just like, I'm definitely willing to share a couple of poems if you like.
Yeah, no, yes, please. I'm gonna give the stage back to you. Please do because you are remarkable in your poetry. So go for it, girl.
Okay, thanks. So this is my book actually. It's called Black Cocaine and Colorless Butterflies. So I will be reading a couple of poems from this book. So one of the poems I wrote this more for self therapy. I believe in therapy. I believe in seeking out, you know, others and also with yourself. Because no one knows you as best as you know you. So this poem is called Band-Aid Soaked with Tears. And it's just a poem to like help me find myself when I get lost. When your happiness is attached to a sunset playground, be careful. Try not to get sunburned. There are no boundaries set or ground rules on this uneven playing field. Just hung over sunflowers, a premature downfall that once stood tall in the razor blade green grass, disguised as rose petals. Look closely and try not to step on the caterpillars. Someday they will be butterflies. With that being said, understand what you are and what you are meant to survive are two different things. I've always admired the way you refer to yourself in the third person. Why did you stop? What part of your heart came unhinged at the dreams? Who silenced you? Don't they know you can't close these type of doors once they are open? You can't just unsee what is there. You can't just swim away from these many tears. There are not enough band-aids to cover them.
Ooh, nice. I love that line. What part of you became unhinged at the scene? What was that? What part of you became unhinged at?
The dreams,
The dreams. The dreams.
the
Yeah,
dream,
that was remarkable. I knew it wasn't seams because we know that one, but what
right.
part of you became unhinged at the dreams? That is great.
Thank
Wow.
you. Because
Yeah,
we
great.
often forget about our dreams. We often, our goals and our dreams, we let the day-to-day life take its place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Day-to-day life sometimes interferes with our dreams, doesn't it? It sometimes can, I think, kind of thwart the picture of our dreams as we, kind of think, are they really attainable? You know,
Mm,
and they should always be attainable, right?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Dreams are good. We have one comment. Let's see who's with us. We have greetings. It's from Christian Romero Diaz. Hi, Christian. He's one of the admins on Pop, but also a great poet from Chile. And so, hey, Christian, thanks for joining us. So, please remember, all people, if you're going to comment, please sign your comment so we know who you are. And so, you said you've kind of always, I think, been a writer. You've always kind of known that and had that in you, and kind of that poetic soul.
Yeah. I was a poor speller.
Are there, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was a poor speller.
Oh, poor spell. That's why they have spell check and things like that. So, is there any other artistic, gifts that you possess?
Yes. I paint.
Good.
Um, yeah, with oils. I paint with oils. I sing a little bit. I play the guitar a little bit and the keyboard
Wow.
and the bass guitar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You are multi-talented. Wow. Yeah. So you can write your own songs. You
Yeah,
have.
and I have. I've written my own songs. I actually, the year 2000, I actually put out a CD
Ooh.
and it's called, this is the year 2000 though. It's called Far From Your Reality.
Oh, nice. Love that cover. Yeah. If you feel so inclined to musically share something with us, feel free.
Well, I actually don't have a CD player.
Oh, well, I just thought maybe you could just like sing. I don't know. I hate putting people on the spot. They don't come prepared, and I just say, "Yeah, start singing." So, is there anyone else in your family that is, has the gift of writing?
I feel like the people in my family are very talented. Um, like with crocheting and hustling. They're very creative hustlers.
Hustle. Well, define that. Define hustlers. Define
Like
hustlers.
my grandmother, she grew up in the 30s, I guess, and she was like a master at pickpocketing.
Oh, grandma. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And you
Really?
wouldn't know, like she would come home with so much stuff just from passing people on the street, just pickpocketing them.
Oh my gosh. Did she teach the art form of pickpocketing?
No, she did not. She did not.
Did she ever get caught for it? Did she ever get caught?
Not that I know of. Not that I know
Wow.
of. Yeah. I
She
mean,
must
it's
have
it's
been
like,
very good at it, huh?
yeah. So it's on the lines of that, like, um, yeah, 'cause they're just great at hustling and getting through life in an untraditional way. Like
Yeah.
my grandmother couldn't read, like a lot of my family couldn't read, and they just lived their lives finding ways to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you do what you have to do for survival.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. So if you can name one person in your life that has been your biggest hero, who would that be?
That would be Prince.
Prince, like Prince the artist?
Yes, Prince the artist.
Oh,
I grew up listening to him and just like falling in love with the music and just his fluidity.
yeah.
And then when I met him, I had like 3 encounters with him, and
Wow.
it was just amazing. And he's
Wow.
otherworldly. It's like he's not even human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a person unto himself, wasn't he? He was really his own kind of entity. He wasn't like anybody else, and really didn't
Yeah.
care that he wasn't like anybody else. He
Yeah.
just did his thing and was Prince. He was very talented in so many ways. Great songwriter, lyricist.
Hmm.
Did you know? I'm sure you know this since you're a Prince fan that he wrote "Manic Mondays." I
Yeah.
was surprised about
Manic
that.
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
That was it, the Bangles?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
I,
Bangles. He
yeah,
was
when I found that
actually
out, I thought, wow, I didn't know Prince wrote that.
yeah, he
But
was
yeah,
actually dating the lead singer. I forget her name.
was he the brown haired lady, the
Yes.
dark. Yeah, I can't remember. Was it Susan? No.
No, he did date a Susan, but
No.
it wasn't it was a Susan too.
Yeah, I can't remember what her name was either. Don't remember.
Yeah.
But wow, Prince, very
Yeah.
good. So, tell me about being a mom. Mother's Day's coming up
Woo!
before too long.
You know,
What do you feel? How do you feel about being a mom? What's important for you to instill within your children?
I would say being a mom, it's the best and the worst. It's a duality that's really complicated and hard to explain. Um,
Yeah,
I also like because my mom passed away when I was 15 and I didn't grow up with my dad. So I was alone and I just kept thinking, I want a baby. I want a baby because I wanted something to be connected to and
yeah,
something I can just love completely. And when I had my child, he looked nothing like me.
yeah, 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 yeah. Wow, wow.
And so then I went on to have more children.
Yeah,
But I also remember telling new moms, I tell them, you want a baby, just make sure it's really for the right reason
yeah,
because
yeah,
these babies are beings and you may not be necessarily fully connected to these beings because it's just blood ties,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And then unfortunately, like some moms I met, they didn't feel a connection at first, you know, it took time and it's
yeah.
just it's like I said, it's the best and the worst.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that it's hard when you have them young and you haven't quite reached adulthood yourself or really matured enough to take on the responsibility because it's a
Yeah,
huge responsibility. You know,
yeah,
it's 24/7 for the rest of your and their lives, right?
yeah.
So, and at some point when we get older, our children become our parents. I've experienced a little bit of that myself.
A little bit of that too, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, you know, a lot of people will get on here and just be like, "Oh, it's the best thing in the world being a parent," and I'm just so happy with little Bobby, you know. And it's like
yeah.
I look at the whole picture. Like there are moments where I'm really proud, really happy, and there's moments I've been lost a head full of hair.
Right, you just wanna pull your hair out. Yeah, and every child is different, every stage is different, what works for one doesn't work for 'em all, it's just a
Yes.
very challenging job. We have somebody said, that was a phenomenal poem.
Uh,
So, somebody said that was a phenomenal
oh,
poem that you
thank you.
shared.
If
Somebody
you're
said
ready for another poem, I can go into another
I'm
one.
going yeah, we're gonna do that in just a second. We just got a couple more comments because
Okay.
somebody said Belinda Carlisle, which I knew it was not.
Yeah.
And look at her name was Susan
It
Vega.
was? It was Susan? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have Katie Sharon Ford. I am going to be visiting with her tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna be chatting tomorrow. She's over in England, so she'll be
Nice.
up on the stage tomorrow. So thank you for
Nice.
joining. Yeah. So go ahead and share another piece with us if you would please. That would be great.
Okay. So this piece is called Windows Down, and it's inspired by Hannah Brown. She's a poet that's based in Boston. If you have a chance to look her up, or some of her writings or her artwork, she's amazing. Um, so I went through a breakup and I was listening to her poetry and it was like giving me life. So I end up writing this poem based off of listening to her. I didn't steal her words though. Windows down, and I insist on whispering through window pane. Words that talk to pillows, words that leave lips smothered in honey, lips frozen on cheek and forehead. I only feel them now in salted covered fantasies. I want to know what made you, because I can still feel your winter fresh permanent kisses you left on me. And see what reminds me of your lips, 18 feet outside this hard to open window. And since I can't open it, I just place right hand, front palm on glass, staring into a mirror of memories of which I will never have again. And I breathe in deep, hurting my lungs with air, a cigarette, and a loneliness way too hard to swallow or let go. I no longer feel beautiful. Why did you leave me? Trapped between words in a window I struggle to open, a window that has no smile to share or clean glass to look through. I know windows don't share smiles, but people do that look closely in them. And I imagine I can see their smiles with their heavy black eyelashes and hard to lift eyelids from crying. See them through the wetness of my eyes where I watch my own soul's departure, and these tears I cry does nothing for me or you or the romantic sadness you left at this window with its arms wrapped around me. I want to lift it and I want to scream to you, come back. I can't breathe. And did you know, right before you left, I want to ask you, couldn't you think of another word for goodbye that sounds more like art? And are you sad and are you sorry or are you both that you left sorrow woven between our hearts? I want to lift this window and ask the wind to carry it and the thought of you away, but this window is hard to open. In my best hand is write vivid poems about you. And as I write, I am torn apart by the words, the remaining punchline I didn't get a chance to throw at you. And by the way, because of you, I sing tearful lullabies in the key of blues while nearby noble neighbors, they shut their windows. I know they much rather hear jaw-dropping voices singing in the key of evergreen, singing in made-up words like fluty and crystally. But instead, they hear me, and I sound like rain, beating against cardboard boxes taped to windows. I wish my voice was like one wedding bells. I wish my name was Bell. Then I would seem just as angelic as clouds and earth flowers, just beautiful enough for you to love me. I wish I had you to love me. I wish promises weren't made to be broken. Promises that speak lies through rose-colored tinted windows under your afro breath mixed with delgado lines, meaning lines hold truth as thin as a whisper, and the silhouette of your whisper will forever run circles around my mind with the scent of you lingering. I will forever smell the lavender teardrops that fell from my eyes and into my mind that is quiet, like a closed window, quiet, like moving butterfly wings. I pretend I can hear you whisper to me, "Nava, open the window." Thank you.
Wow, love that. Love that. What was that line? I was remembering all along, and then you started saying other things, and I got distracted. The one that had evergreen. You said something about evergreen.
Oh,
Was it the window? What window of ever? No.
evergreen, winter fresh permanent kisses,
Oh, something about evergreen.
evergreen.
Mm-hmm. While you're looking for that,
I
we'll go
know.
to Stuart. Stuart is watching. Hello,
Uh-huh.
beautiful ladies. He always sends us flowers. That's how we know it's Stu.
Oh, wow.
Literary taste. Very good. Yes, indeed. It doesn't matter. That's okay. I
Okay.
don't know. But it's something you had something that is like three words in there, some with evergreen, and I thought, wow, that was good.
Yeah, I know. Now it's gonna bother me.
We'll figure it out later.
We will.
But
Mm-hmm.
You found it?
No, no, I didn't find.
I think that's funny that it's that long that you can't even find it. So it's just
I know.
enmeshed with all those other beautiful words. It must be camouflaged in the
Oh, I
poetic
found
words.
it. I found it. So I said, I sing tearful lullabies in the key of blues while nearby noble neighbors shut their windows. I know they much rather hear jaw-dropping voices singing in the key of evergreen.
Singing in the key of evergreen. I love that. That's great.
Mhm.
Great, great, great.
Mm.
Singing in the key of evergreen. Whatever that is. It's so beautiful. Yeah. I
That's
like that. It's a great line. Great line.
that's when you throw your pen at the notebook.
That's right. Boom. Yeah. Look at my arts. Yeah. That's a nice thing about word art, isn't it? We can
Yes.
we can make up our own stuff. We don't have to. We can come up. I mean, who has ever thought of that? But you probably.
Thank
I
you.
think I think you're the only one, and it's beautiful.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
beautiful.
Thank
Um,
you.
Katie says beautiful poetry. So
Thank you.
yes, indeed. Um, so what advice would you give to the young poet that's trying to write?
Ooh.
Perhaps isn't so good at it yet, wants to try to hone the skill.
Um, I would definitely advise them to read. Just keep reading. Um, because you want to be able to get as much language and as many words. Because what happens with poetry and writing, it becomes very cliche
Uh,
and everyone's going for the same thing.
right,
So
right.
the more you read, and also look and grab inspiration from quotes and things
Yeah,
that people post or comments, even read people's comments. Just
yeah,
keep reading. And when something touch you, don't question it. Write it down.
yeah. Come up
Write
with your own
it
quotes. I do
down.
that.
Right.
Your
Write it
own,
down. And
yeah,
then you'll feel it, something will resonate with you, and then you'll come up with this beautiful line out of nowhere.
yeah. And you'll say, "Ooh, that was good."
Yeah.
You'll be amazed by your own talented
Yes.
your imagination and how your mind can just
Hmm.
I always call writing choreographing with words.
I
You're
like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
choreographing with words.
Did you put it in one of your poems?
No, but I think I will. Maybe that's what I'll write about tonight. But I've been kind of at this place where I've been working, so it's been difficult. But I was just trying to come up with some title or something. I wasn't able to, but maybe that will need to be it. I'll have to come up with something about choreographing. So yeah, so I like to, and I think that there's a lot of beauty and simplicity. I mean, none of the words that you used are huge vocabulary words. It's
No.
very easy, and what I always say is that it's the beauty of simplicity and the ability to choreograph words in such a way that it moves and emotes people.
Yeah.
So
Because the,
yeah,
the words have frequency, has a frequency in them.
right,
And when you put them with another word, they do a dance. Like you said, they do this
yeah,
dance.
it's
And
beautiful.
it
Yeah,
becomes beautiful. It could either bite, like, ooh, you know what I mean? Or become
right,
beautiful.
right, right, yeah. Yeah, it could be you could be dancing to heavy metal or you could
Yeah.
be doing a waltz. Yeah, either way. I wrote this, you talked about butterflies a lot.
Yep.
I wrote this poem. It's my first book. It's called The Butterfly Dance. And it always gives me chills when I read it. Um,
Mm.
but I love that
Can you
that
read it
poem.
for us? Can you? Because I love butterflies. So.
I can. We'll see if it gives me chills tonight. The Butterfly Dance. And it's just it's just a very sweet one. The butterfly dance. Let's see. I should just put butterfly dance. All right, here we go. The purple butterfly lands on a pink flower, its wings waving incandescently in the sun. as the little girl watches the butterfly dance for hours. Day after day, she silently watches the butterfly dance. She notices the graceful movements and pirouettes. She now mimics the butterfly, and she herself begins to prance, spinning round and round, gracefully moving her hands and arms, her dark curly locks flowing in the breeze, mastering her technique with fluid until fluid with ease. For years in the meadow, she performed her butterfly dance. It was her secret with her friends as they took flight. They would audition their dance until night. Her mother then caught her one day. She watched her as she gracefully moved and swayed. In awe, she was at loss for words to say. She grabbed her mother's hand while taking her stance. Stand by me, mother, and take a chance as I teach you the butterfly dance. Yeah, so I just think it's sweet little. Did you mute yourself? um,
Yeah. I mean, because I was thinking they could hear the
yeah,
noise in the background too.
yeah. So it's just she's teaching her mom now the butterfly.
Yes. That is
So
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
yeah,
have to look
butterflies are
into it.
great. They
Mhm.
symbolize new life, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
there's a lot of symbolism and so
Mm-hmm.
forth we can take from them. So we have literary taste. I think that was back talking to you. Another congratulations, beautiful poetry. I think we did that awesome and beautifully sweet.
Thank you.
And
Thank
that's
you.
Stuart because his signature is roses and he loves butterflies too. Oh, that's so sweet,
Thank
Stu.
you.
So I ask everyone this question. This is your question now. Um, you come across Aladdin's lamp. You get three wishes that you are granted. What three wishes are you gonna wish for? It doesn't have to be about literature. It can be anything your heart desires. What are you gonna ask for?
Wow. Um, I guess the first wish would be to go back to 14. The second wish would be for Prince to be alive again.
Oh.
And the third wish would be I wish for a million more wishes.
Oh yes, I love that. Lately, I've come across that where people say, "I wish for three more wishes," or "I wish for a lot more wishes." So yeah, that's great. That's great. I love that. And I love that you didn't, you got a little selfish there in the respect of, you thought about what you wanted to do as far as self, and then you threw Prince in there. So Prince is probably looking down on you right now, saying, "Hey, thanks for that." So that's interesting. So share something else with us. I know you got all kinds of stuff up your sleeve.
Oh, okay. You mean more poems or more conversation?
Well, we'll do both, but
Okay.
yeah, share another one of your pieces of poetry, and we, of course, we'll be conversing. If there's a subject matter you want to bring up, you can do that as well. So feel free to do that as well. I've never had anybody really do that.
Oh,
So if you come up with some epiphany or something, let me know.
um,
Okay, go ahead and recite one of your poems, darling.
oh, okay. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think. Maybe I'll go in a different direction. What can we say and not say?
Well, we gotta be a little careful about some language type things, but
Okay.
I don't know if you can sugarcoat it any.
Yeah. So I'm trying to.
Just because our audience is a wide variety from across the world, we don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Oh, I could do a love poem. I could do a love poem. Okay. Um, this is more of a spoken word piece, and it gets kind of dramatic. and the piece is called Love. Um, Someone once asked me what is love and if I've ever fallen in it. I told them I fell in the best and worst way that I knew how, and how there was no parachute or a skydiving coach attached to me to help me break this unbreakable fall that almost broke me. I told them love becomes everything when a person has nothing. It can make a saxophone sound more like a nervous heartbeat, and a heart stop in its tracks and break into more pieces than we can possibly count. I have seen love caught in a crossfire what feels like titanium bullets in a belly full of butterflies. I've witnessed it take aim and fire with no warning, leaving the receiver dumbfounded, stunned. I guess it's safe to say that love can have an attitude. But did you know it falls in a gray area, just like some winters, and it doesn't sleep? It makes us vulnerable to our own perception, it makes us pick up and leave everything and tell our lover, I'm moving to another state just to not smell you. Imagine that. And still we imagine love to be more magical than wedding vows as we allow it to work its magic on us. But without a shadow of a doubt, it spends most of its time in the mouth of a poet or chained up in stars. Sometimes you can spot it in the spotlight of an amazing song with interchangeable lyrics like, love is a forgotten season and the best time to take a trip. Call it psychedelic rush, sweet chaos. Take your badly bruised heart, longing for an olive branch, and gently fall there, tripping all the way down, hitting each and every fiery brimstone. And when you reach the bottom, walk proudly on those pins and feathers. Walk proudly on that thin line between excitement and anxiety. Who knew when it came to love, we would have to walk such an unpredictable tightrope and say, forget trust issues. See how off balance love is, but still hopeful? Thank you.
Wow, that was marvelous. I didn't bring a pen and a paper down here. I wish I would have because again you said another line, and I thought, oh, and that was great. And I know I can't remember it, but you come up with these marvelous little lines, and I think, wow, wow. Yeah, I love the way your mind works, and you build these analogies and different, metaphorical
Thank you.
images, that you use in your poetry is very wonderful.
And
So,
I put the word butterfly in every poem.
oh
I
no,
make
you
sure.
don't.
I
No,
make sure I do that.
it's your signature. That's your signature.
So you'll find the butterfly somewhere in each poem.
Well, maybe that's why you like this background. It almost kind of looks butterfly, doesn't it?
Yeah,
With all the scrolling, kind of looks like
yes.
wings almost. Oh, great! I love that. I love that. And I
Mhm,
love butterflies too. Of course, Stuart said he does as well. Christian
mhm.
says, I don't know why Stuart said he's an angel, but he did. I don't know if he referred to him as the angel. I don't think so.
Yeah,
But and then we have a Christian that said wonderful. So thank
thank
y'all for watching. So that is great. Do you think that the really great poets, that are just have a notch above the rest? Do you think that is a learned thing, or do you think it's an innate thing? It's an inbred thing.
innate thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
The most beautiful writings, I mean, yeah, Joni Mitchell. I can just go on. The colors, Joni
yeah,
Mitchell's lyrics,
yeah,
just straight poetry.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
She really is. I saw her maybe about a year ago on YouTube. There's an interview with
oh,
her.
I thought you saw her in concert.
No, no, I wish I would have. I wish I would have. This is maybe an interview later in life.
Mhm.
So it wasn't something in her youth. So that was very enlightening. It was actually a rather long interview, maybe close to an hour or so.
Yeah,
But yeah, go stage.
I saw her live. I sat in the front row.
Oh,
This had to be over 20, probably 23 years ago when she did the Both Sides Now, that album
yeah.
Both Sides Now, and
Did
she
she
had a
sing?
concert.
Did she sing the Yellow Taxi song?
Yes.
I love that song. I love.
Yes. And I sat in the front, me and my friend, and we were the only Black people there. And she just kept coming to us, singing to us, touching us, like she just kept giving us
Yeah,
love, you know. It
yeah.
was nice.
I bet you were responsive to it, so she probably
Oh yeah, yeah.
responded to you.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. You're
Um,
like, give it to us, Joni.
yeah. It's so funny because um like there's like music, we all know you can listen to any music, you know, but music is also attached to culture and race,
Right?
you know. And I think Joni Mitchell, she's one of those people that kind of crossed over and
Yeah.
to the Black community,
Yeah.
you know. Kate Bush is another one as well. Just these hidden gems of singers and songwriters,
Yeah.
and you just be like, oh, we know these people, you know.
Yeah. I was trying to remember what song I saw the other day. It's a famous song. You've heard it before. An old song. Like I'm thinking back in the 70s. A jivey R&B kind of song. And what it did was show different personalities, like radio personalities or different people who critique songs. It
Hmm.
showed their reaction when they played it. The video that showed the person singing it, because it was a white guy, skinny white guy,
You're talking
and
about Bobby
everybody,
Coswell. You're talking
huh?
about Bobby Coswell.
I think is that who I'm talking
You're
about?
talking Bobby Coswell. What
What
you
did he
won't
sing?
do, what you won't do, you do for love.
Yes,
Yeah. You're talking about,
exactly,
so
exactly.
I think that came out late 70s, early 80s, I want to say.
Yeah,
And they didn't know what to do with him
yeah,
because of his sound.
yeah,
So they didn't want to like make him do anything weird. So they
yeah.
kind of kept him in the shadow.
Yeah, yeah. Did you
But
see the people like to date though, the younger people's reactions when they finally showed that video and they saw he was white and they were going, "What?" You
yeah,
know? They was like
yeah.
that voice out of that,
Yeah,
it's
that
really funny.
voice is amazing. I mean, he's truly loved, he's truly missed. You
Yeah.
know, he
Did
just
he
passed
recently
away.
did he recently pass?
Yeah, a few months ago.
Yeah.
So it hit the community pretty hard, and he was always loved.
Yeah, he's really
Yeah,
good.
that soulful voice. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who's a musician in Virginia Beach area, and
Hmm.
I'll have to send it to you later. He wrote a song that I love. I played it over and over again, and I love this song. And he talks about um, going and touring, and I said, if you get up on stage and you sing that song, I want you to dedicate it to me because I bet you anything I've listened to it more than anybody. But his sound in that song is very soulful. I'll have to send
Hmm.
it to you later, but I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
Somebody said, Katie Shamford said, she loves Joni Mitchell. Yeah, this
Yes.
is that era of songwriting. Yeah,
Hmm.
indeed. Yeah, it's amazing.
And
I'm always amazed. What?
Joni did the words, like she did a lot of runs with words as well. And sometimes she didn't rhyme.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
So that's what I found impressive.
yeah, yeah. You don't always have to rhyme. But a lot of songs do rhyme. Whenever somebody says they don't like poetry, I said, "But you like music and songs, yeah? Well, then you like poetry because it's songs are poetry and music." And but yes, I like that too. Also, when things don't always rhyme and it's something that's a little off, and occasionally, I'm a rhymer most of the time, but I really like not rhyming sometimes and just kind of letting it pour out because I think it takes some talent to be able to rhyme, but I also think probably we have more creativity and more versatility when we don't rhyme, as far as we don't have to select those words that are just boxed into the rhyming. So yeah,
I know a lot of people get boxed in.
yeah,
I was very fortunate not to get boxed in.
yeah. Yeah, so I like it. But then if I do change it up, I occasionally get people say, well, this is good, but this isn't your normal work. It's like, yeah, that's right. It's not. So I think it is good for us to kind of, I think as writers and our creativity um, is so much better challenged when we step outside of that box, you know?
Yes, yes. Um, I no, I also think as a writer, you should also listen to all forms of writing. So I
Yeah.
also listen to battle rap.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know if people ever heard battle rap, but some.
I have a friend who does it.
Oh, you do? What's the name?
His name is J.D. Styles. You ever heard of him?
I don't know, but I'll look them up.
He's in the British Columbia. Like they go in the bar and they
Yeah, they go at it.
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm always teasing
Mhm.
him because it's like, can you ever say do one of those battle raps without using the MF word or whatever? They really attack each other. But he's a great artist. I mean, you have to be very artistic in order to do that. So I love watching him, and he loves my poetry. He'll always say, "Hey,
Yes.
got some new stuff." And he was at work the other day. He just got some kind of construction stuff. He says, "Hey, the guys want to know if you have anything else to send us." Or and it's funny.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
nice.
kind of funny. So
Hmm.
they want to know why you're not married. And I said, it doesn't matter. Y'all are too young for me anyway. I'm old enough to be a mother.
Yeah, that's another thing. Relationships.
Yeah.
That's tough. Like relationships. You meet a person, you fall head over heels, you might fall in love. And then after being with them for over 14 to 20 years, it changed. You
Yeah.
still love them, but it changed.
Yeah.
It,
Well, yeah, my last one, it changed so much that I questioned whether it ever really was as I thought it was. So, I really
and it
questioned.
was for that moment. It was what it was in that moment.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
change, people confuse the change for a lack of love, but it's actually the opposite
Yeah.
because
I think when you're changing and you're moving in different directions is when it's bad. When you're not, moving in a cohesive,
Mhm.
if you're both searching for something and they're going in opposite directions, it's not necessarily a good thing. So
Yeah,
I think that because you have to have some commonality too, some common ground, whether
but
or
you
not.
have it. I feel like in the beginning you have the common ground and you have all the things and
Yeah,
the lust and the all the things. And so once the lust weans down and
yeah,
all the things kind of fade,
right,
I feel like you're only left with the actual pure love, but
right,
people have attached these conditions to the pure love.
yeah,
And that's what I had to learn. I had to learn like there's an actual pure love that I'm feeling. I still don't want to be without this person, but these other things have weaned away. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's almost like a sister brother. I feel like a
yeah.
relationship can go into like a sibling type of love
Yeah,
sometimes.
I can. Yeah, that's true. Or you realize that it doesn't move into a true love. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
duality. It can like some relationships. I know a girl, she was probably married for about 10 years. They had kids. And she just woke up one day and she was like, I'm missing out on something. And she divorced her husband. And she found someone that, she shouldn't have
Totally.
found.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, but
Yeah.
it was a good relationship. It wasn't like he was horrible. It was a great relationship. I know she
That
was
is what
just.
got me into poetry is my ex-husband. I wrote my I'm getting divorced ticked off poem. It's one of the few I know by heart because I could drive down the road as my therapy. And in fact, I just recited it last week to somebody. She went
Hmm.
through a divorce or whatever, and she was like, "Oh my God." Because she came in that day and she says, "I just got my divorce was final today." I said, "Oh, listen to this," because
Yeah.
everybody said, "Oh, you need to get that published."
Wow. I got a
So
little story for you. So I felt I was going to get married soon. And I ended up going out to a club. And this guy walks in, and I tell my friends, I'm like, oh, there's my future husband. They're laughing at me. And so we hit the dance floor, we're dancing. Then we go to the bar to get drinks. And I'm like, so he did not speak any English.
Really? What?
So they're laughing at me because, like, he doesn't even speak English. We were married 6 months later.
Really?
We were
Wow.
married 6 months later.
Are you still married?
Oh, but this the kicker. So my other friend planned a beach trip, and I go to my friend's house, and there's a guy sitting there, and he goes, "Hi, Nava, we've been waiting for you." And I'm all like, "How you know my name? Why wouldn't I know your name?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I married the wrong person. I
So is that
married
the
the
person
wrong."
you're
So the person, so I stayed married about 8 years because I didn't want to, and then I had enough of this horrible marriage. And then the person that I was supposed to marry, we got together, and
yeah.
now we're still together. It's
How many years how long has that been now?
been almost 14 years, I'll say.
Wow, nice. I don't think it'll ever happen for me again. I think I'm gonna be single.
You know, that's
Mhm.
not a bad thing though.
No, I'd much rather be single and happy than in a relationship where, if you don't want to be with that person, you can't stand to be in their presence. It's not a good thing
Mm,
either. So sometimes
no.
it's good. I'd like to have somebody just take me out to dinner every once in a while, movie, whatever.
Yeah,
And it may be more like a dating friend or something.
yeah,
That's about it. And
yeah.
then say goodbye at the end of the evening and say, okay, go on home. All right, why don't you share another piece with us, darling?
Okay, let me see what I find.
We're getting to the top of the hour here, so I'm going to give the screen back to you and share another one of your magnificent works with us.
Okay, let's see. See, what is this? I was trying to find something not too long. You know what? Since we talked about Prince, I can do a Prince piece. That's
Perfect.
okay. Um, Dearly beloved, I believe it was the sawdust of summer when I found your voice in the shadow of a song. You sang so beautifully of lilacs and photogenic water. You built harmonies powerful enough to save angels and their demons in the storm. Quickly, I caught on, held tightly to your butterfly's cleverly named lyrics. You spoke of love like it had a doctrine. I thought for men, love was a learning curve, and there you were. And all your ruffles and lace proving me wrong. You didn't just create music and magic by the sweat of your brow. No, you birthed an ocean of colors out of sound and called them stories. So when it came to you, I got caught up in your rain. You were the definition of fluidity. You blurred lines between gender, genre, reality, and fantasy. Prince, I bet your music is similar to how God speaks. I bet you discovered the guitar inside of a black deity and the piano inside of a white devil's broken heart. Prince, I bet you can play almost anything, even strumming the petals of fossilized flowers. So tell me, Prince, when did you get tired of playing love songs? And where was your accountability partner the day it happened? When did balancing the moon and a microphone become all too much for you? Who choked the life out of your vocal cords? I would give almost anything to hear you live again. I remember once in an interview you said dead silence is music too. Is this what you're trying to teach us? Thank you.
All right. I remember you said several things in there. I remember this one.
Mhm.
Strumming the petals of fossilized flowers. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, you say things. I love that. You're such a word artist.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, I mean, you are a master word choreographer.
Oh.
choreographer. I didn't even
Yeah,
pronounce that wrong. Just
choreographer.
yeah, choreographer. I was trying to. I don't know what I was trying to do there. So we
Mm.
had a message from Kelly Owen who says, "Rather stay single." Well, I think if people find that person that completes them, it's wonderful. But I don't. Yeah, I think I'm okay with my hairy daughter. I'll just keep her. So. Well, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this. It's been
Oh,
just
thank you. Me
the
too.
hour. It seems like we've been here on here for 15 minutes. You know, it was just very easy. So you'll have to come back sometime. So we'll have to
Yes,
chit chat more.
definitely.
Um,
This was very enjoyable. Thank you so much for having me.
oh, you're
I know we
welcome.
was trying to make this happen a couple of times.
Yeah, we were trying to choreograph something before, weren't we? But we didn't get it done. But it's your poetry is amazing. I'm a real fan of yours,
Thank you.
and I should have been able to pick up on that your butterflies in all of your poetry without you telling me that. But I did not. So thank you for that signature. But
Yes.
it has been marvelous, and keep doing what you're doing, and keep writing short stories. I'll be looking
Thank
forward
you.
to getting that book as well. So
Thank
love and
you.
blessings to
Thank
everyone.
you.
Yeah. And come back and we'll chat some other time.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Good night,
Thank
everyone,
you.
or good day, wherever you may be. Take care.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.